Hi, I'm Lex,
And I'm Gibby.
and welcome to another episode of Porch Swing People.
As you guys know, we bring somebody on each week to hear about their past, their present, and future aspirations.
This week we have on a childhood friend of mine. I send Christmas cards to him and his wife each year. We chat occasionally, but I gotta tell you, I don't know much about him. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say. I think he has picked some awesome questions. So let's
I
bring
got
him
a
on.
question for you.
Yeah.
Christmas cards. Is it a lost art?
No,
No?
it's not. Here's the trick. If you want to receive Christmas cards, you need to send Christmas cards.
It makes sense.
Christmas cards, holiday cards, New Year's cards, whatever you want it to be, do it. Just do it. Back to our guest. His name is Kody,
Uh-huh.
and he's ready to go.
All right, bring Kody on.
Let's do it. Hello.
I think he's on.
There we go.
Hi.
How are we doing,
Hey.
y'all?
Hey,
Hey,
Kody, how are you
how
doing?
are you?
Good.
Recording right now because sometimes we get a nugget out of our recordings, but Lex is going to go over some of the instructions, I guess would be the better word.
Yeah.
Things that are going to happen.
Okay.
All right, so we will... Kody, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, I am Kody. I am, 34. I just got enrolled into college for the first time last year, so that's...
Congratulations.
Thanks. Stressful. It's wild. Didn't expect to
Yeah.
do that, but
Are we talking about that on your questions, or should we talk about that now?
I have no idea. We can talk about that now.
Yeah.
I've been working construction for, 14 years or so. And then
Yeah.
I was like looking at all the guys that are like 10 years older than me, and I'm like, they cannot walk. I'm like, I got to figure something out in life that's better than breaking your back and hoping for the best. And I was like, so me and my wife sat down and we just discussed it and kind of looked at all of our options and got into a new career path.
Well, that's really exciting.
Congratulations. I mean, it is never too late. I mean, that's going to be the lesson out of that one.
I think sometimes we think that we've put ourselves on a track and then that's the track, but you can always change a
it.
track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes with a little bit of sweat, elbow grease, and then the other times, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. Wait, do you have any pets?
I do. I have 2 dogs. I have a 90-pound 2-year-old Bernese Mountain Dog.
Oh
And I
my
have
gosh.
Yikes.
I have an 8-pound 7-year-old toy Australian Shepherd.
That goes,
Oh,
what you're really
my
talking about is
goodness.
one extreme to the other.
Yep. And then we just adopted 2 kittens.
Ah,
So
Oh my
they are,
gosh. That's a full house.
I want to say they're about 4 to 6 months old. I don't actually know,
Oh my goodness.
but they
Are they
they're
all the
super
best of
fun.
friends?
Sort of. So our 90-pound dog is terrified of basically everything.
Oh my goodness.
And like for reference, I took him out to go potty one day, and a cricket jumped into the air, and he ran into the house, and I had to basically haul him outside. Like I'm like carrying him, and he was about 70 pounds at the time. Like he was not a puppy. Like well, he's a puppy. But
That is like the perfect short story to tell to like sum up your dog. I love
Yeah.
that so much.
yeah, and so it's like he's that, and then the 8-pound dog thinks she's invincible, and
yep.
like we'll roll the windows down and have her, and she'll try to crawl out onto the mirror to be as far outside as she possibly can, and it's just
Yeah.
like,
What a goofball.
and she'll like try to defend him against like everything in the world. And it's really cute though, because he'll have like night nightmares and stuff like that. He'll start like whining in his sleep a little bit, and she'll
Yeah.
go run in there and cuddle with him.
Nice.
Oh my
So it's really
Goodness.
cute. But
It
if
sounds
you
like a
look-
cartoon in the making.
Well,
right?
but the thing is if you look, she'll run away. She's like, she doesn't want you to know that she loves him so much.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm picturing this cartoon coming in.
Right.
It is just forming right before our eyes. I love it so much.
How are they doing with the kittens?
So
Yeah,
the
how did that
Bernese-
come to be?
the cats?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I'm not really a cat person, and my wife, for whatever reason, wanted cats. And the kittens, they're called like snow boot kittens or cats or something like that. I don't know. They're really expensive cats. That's all I really know about them. But we got them from a rescue. Like basically, they brought in a cat that ended up having kittens, and they were like, we can only get rid of them if we do 2 at a time because one of them had like really bad anxiety. And my wife was like, we can get both of these cats. And I always would joke with her. She wants
I like the way we can get.
It was kind of a well played moment for her because I always would joke that if she got these cats for like under $5,000 because they're so expensive, I was like, yeah, sure. If you can find them for a reasonable price.
Oh, so you said this thinking that it was never going to come to fruition.
Yeah.
And
who
then
gives
did.
away $1,000 cats for $200? Plus
my
food
goodness.
and litter and all the stuff that you need for a cat. It was just like,
That's a no-brainer family decision.
Like,
Yeah. Oh
so
my
it's
gosh.
okay.
I'm happy for
At
you.
one point, she'd actually call her sister and be like, hey, will you go get this animal for me? Because she lives up a big city area and I live in the south, southern Utah, but not a lot around. And she'd be like, will you go pick up these animals for me? And her sister would actually have to call me and be like, hey, did you approve this? Because
And there you go. We don't want
That's
to start a family
no, I did
issue.
not approve this. I was unaware of this.
You didn't know?
Did you approve it?
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's how we got the cats. And they're great. They actually really like me for no reason that I can figure out.
That makes sense to me. I feel like people who are not cat people, the cats are like, I like you.
Yeah.
You understand me.
And she'll be sitting there, and I'll be sitting there on the couch, and they'll just come over and climb on top of me and just cuddle up and lay down. And it's
gosh.
like,
Yikes.
I don't know how this happened, but and she's
Are
just
you a
like,
cat
really-
person now?
I like these cats. They're pretty cool
These cats are okay.
because it's like I've been around them for a while, so they're
Yeah.
growing on me.
Hey, Kody, tell us an experience that you saw a small act of kindness that is stuck with you.
So one of the coolest acts of kindness that happened to me and my wife essentially, but when we got married, like we threw a whole wedding together ourselves, and we're kind of, weddings are expensive, so we're broke. But we're like, after the wedding, we got the gifts and money and blah blah blah, and my best friend's mom actually cooked all the food for us.
Nice.
And we had a huge taco bar, so we had chicken, pork, beef, salsas, rice, beans for, I don't know how many people came, but a bunch. I had to shake a lot of hands. And they did all of this, and she was like, beforehand, I was like, yeah, we'll get you money after. She said, well, don't worry about it. So, for reference, we got married on the 15th, and we moved 400 miles on the 17th. So,
Wow.
we say all of our goodbyes.
Yeah.
And so and pack, like or finish packing, I guess. But so we went over there to her house and brought her money, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, this should cover the food, some of the labor, and all things. And she's like, no. She's like, this was for you. This is your gift. And I'm like, this is like $400 worth of just food alone. Like, please let me pay for it. And she's like, okay, tell you what, I'll accept it, but I'm going to give it to the girls that cooked for me. She's like, I'm not accepting anything. This is my gift for you.
Aww.
It was so cool because it was like, just took care of us, and
Yeah.
that stuck with me where we've always tried to do that, like to help other people and feed other people and, do what we can for them and stuff like that. There was another one that was really cool too. The week before we got married as well, this is all happened at the same time, so it was kind of crazy. My wife blew out a tire on her car and she was an all-wheel drive. And I didn't even know that you had to get 4 new tires on an all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, one tire, it's like $100, whatever, not too bad.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, yeah, so it's gonna be like $800 for all tires. And it was like, again, we're throwing all of our money into a wedding at the moment.
And then moving.
And then moving. And so I'm like, okay, well, my dad, he's like, I'm just gonna give you cash for your wedding. I'm not gonna go shopping. And I was like, well, I'm gonna call him. And I was like, how much cash are you gonna throw into this? And like, what pool could I get real quick to get some tires on our car? And a guy is sitting next to us just listening. And he's like, you guys are getting married? And he starts talking to us, and we're like, yeah. And he's like, this is cool. And then he just walks up to the counter and just pays for our tires.
Some guy, another
guy,
customer?
I've never met him before, just a customer in there waiting for
I
his
love
tires.
that story.
And it was just like mind blown. And so that's when we stick with where we're always like, we're going to do that for somebody. Like, and when the situation rises up, it's a very niche situation to hear. But it's like, so now every time we're at the store, if somebody's card gets declined buying groceries or whatever, we try to cover for them just to help, spread that joy. Because it's like when we were at our, not our lowest,
Yeah.
but like our poorest, hardest, it was like random people were just like, I got you. So we try
Okay,
to.
I love both of these stories. First of all, these are not small acts of kindness. Those are
No.
huge acts.
Oh yeah, it was
food.
incredible for us.
Especially
were
at the
very
time.
thankful.
Timing's
Yeah,
everything.
the timing was just like, I mean, there's been times that are rough, but it was like that was like, and it's like our car. It's like we can't
Yeah.
drive without it. Like,
Yeah, it's not something that you can say.
We cannot move
We'll
without
put
this
this
vehicle."
expense on hold for now. Like, yeah, exactly. So why don't you tell us about a time that you failed at something, but ended up gaining much more than you expected from it?
So when I wrestled in high school, and I wasn't like an amazing wrestler or anything by any means. I was good, but like I wasn't great. And I remember going into a match, and my coach, he was a very tough love guy. He was not a, you did your best, I'm proud of you guy. It was like, you need to win. Like, that was your off.
That's why I'm not a coach. Well,
He's a good dude. He's a nice guy, but it was just he was very strict. He's very tough. It's like you were late for practice, you were not playing, like, which is fair. And I like the structure of it.
responsibility.
And I remember going into a match one day. We were at a tournament over the weekend, and I remember this kid, and we went 3 rounds. He beat me by like 4 points, eliminated me from the tournament. I'm mad, and I'm just kind of like sulking. And my coach, because he's not gonna be like, "Hey, I'm proud of you. You did your best." And the craziest thing happened is he comes over to me and he's like, "I'm proud of you." And I'm like, "Coach, did you watch? I lost." And he's like, "Do you know who that kid is?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "He won state last year, and he's in line to go back to state this year, and he ended up taking second in the tournament." And it was like, he's one of the best wrestlers in the state. You went 3 rounds with him and barely lost.
Wow.
There you
He's
go.
You still lost, but you barely lost. And he's like, he's like, you gave it your all. And it occurred to me in that moment, because I always just thought he was just tough love, but he's like, it was more of, if you try your hardest and lose, then you tried your hardest and lost. And that's what it's about. It wasn't about the wins and the losses. And I actually realized that moment with him that I could see the difference when I actually tried my absolute hardest and just, didn't lose, or even at practice when it was just like, all right, go run a couple miles. And it was like, all right, I'm going to jog the first 1.5 miles and then finish it up strong.
Sure.
It was,
Yeah.
he wanted you to give it your all at all times. And so
That's a
that
good
was one
story.
of the biggest things that I learned, that win or lose, as long as you did your best, that's what matters. So,
Kody, I'm going to tell you a quick story, a wrestling story of mine. You'll think this is funny. So I went to Southwest Missouri State and wrestled for a semester because my academic career was awesome. But when I went down there, I wasn't too bad of a wrestler. Anyhow, we went to the St. Louis Open, which is one of the hardest tournaments. It's like a takedown tournament, and it's one of the hardest tournaments in the nation. I'm a freshman, and when I go out on the mat back in the day, it was basically just a street fight. We can get it on. And my coach was the one that liked me, was a 3-time national champion. So the first match I went out, he's like, "Hey, just go out there and tear this guy up just like you always do." So I went out there and headbutt. I always had a black eye. I always had something. I was bleeding, and then this guy's feet hit the ceiling, and I had a black eye and went in by pinned him, and then, so the next round, my coach uncharacteristically like, "Hey, so go out there, just have fun, just do your best," and I'm like, what is that? That's not go out there and kick some,
yeah.
I was like, what's going on here? I square up, and this guy comes out, and I'm 5'9", 5'10". This guy was like 5'5", but he was almost as wide as he was tall, and I'm like, look at this stump. Well, I'm just going to thump him. That's my thinking. So the ref, gave us the go, and the guy shot in on me, and I headbutted him. Boom. And it caught my attention, but, and the ref grabbed me up, and he's like, "Next time you headbutt, 1 point." And I'm like, all right. So he goes, go. The guy came in again, and I headbutt him again. And he stopped. The ref was like, 1 point from him, and I'm like, I don't even have a point, but okay, take it. And
Can you have negative points?
Well, at this point, I do. But anyhow, then we started again, and I shot in on this guy, and the guy just stood there and hit me with his forehead, and I went right to my bottom. Right, and I just sat there, and I was dazed. I was like, "Ugh." And he just stood there and smiled at me, and I was like, oh, crap, what did I do? And he started thumping me. And we were laughing. I was laughing and at the same time getting hurt. I was like, why don't you just already pin me? And he goes, oh no, you're going to suffer. And I'm looking at my coach and he's over there laughing. And, I'm still trying because I don't give up.
Can't just give
and
up.
then, the guy thumped me. He didn't pin me. He beat the heck out of me. And my grandfather, I remember this very dearly, I always thought I was kind of tough, but he goes, hey, something you always need to remember. There's somebody a little bit tougher down the road. They're going to be. Just remember that. Anyhow, I found that guy out on this mat. And so after I shook hands and I went over there, and I was bloody and beat. And my coach was like, dude, that was awesome. I'm like, are you freaking? Yeah, he was a 3-time state or national champ. You just, and you didn't get pinned. I'm like, I begged him to pin me.
Wasn't my
And
choice.
anyhow, I should have known I was in trouble when he said, hey, just go out there and have fun, do your best. I was like, what is that? I should have read it between the lines of it. It did stump me for a minute, but I was like, okay, let's just get it on.
Wow, that is so interesting. What is really interesting about both of those stories is your coaches not telling you beforehand who your opponent was and how that impacted your own performance. You just went in with a blank slate, tried your best, and I mean, I could imagine that would be really intimidating if you had known.
Oh yeah, well, and for me, it was like I still remember. I mean, I'm 6'5" at the moment. I was probably a couple inches shorter, but it's like he's a little bit shorter than me, stocky, solid. But it was like, and like as an adult looking back, I should have thought about the fact that we were wrestling heavyweight, and he was a pretty solid dude, and like he was wrestling heavyweight. Like that should have been my first sign that this was actually a bigger challenge than it was gonna be. But I was like, I'm bigger than him. I got more reach. Like this is a good advantage. But it was like, oh wow, he's a solid heavyweight.
Yeah.
Well, that must have felt so good to hear from your coach that he was proud of you.
Yeah, it was awesome coming out of it. But yeah, I mean, I lost, but it was still awesome to be like, hey, you did really good. Like you pushed it. You didn't give up.
And there's a moment of failure that you still think about that you carry with you, and you don't feel bad about it. You feel good about it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in high school, I had to do a project in my medical anatomy class, and I was in medical anatomy because at the time I had different plans of which kind of came full circle of doing life now, but it was the only math science class or whatever that I could take that could fit in the period that I had free for a science class. So I was like in that, and the only one they had though was AP. So I was like,
so you're in this AP anatomy
all the
class?
smart kids.
Oh.
It was a bad idea, but they put me into it, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna try and I passed.
That's amazing.
And we had to do a project though, and it happened to be that I missed a day and another kid missed a day when they assigned group partners. So I get paired with this. I was a senior, he was a freshman, and we get paired together. And he was very, very little. Like I don't know how tall he was, but he was just a little Asian kid.
Everybody's little compared to you.
Yeah, but he was.
I was gonna say
he was a small for even average, and he's like, yeah, we can do the project at my house. My mom will pick us up, and we can go up there. And I was like, okay. So we're sitting on the sidewalk at school, and his mom pulls up in this SUV, and it's just me and him. And then I get in the car, and I get in, and they're all like speaking. I want to say they were Korean and talking, and they're looking back at me like, "What is going on?" And then he just starts laughing. So apparently he didn't tell his parents at all about me. So they just get this giant kid that just jumps in, and he's just laughing. He's like, "What?" He's like, "They all thought you were going to be my size."
Kody, why don't you tell us about a meal that you had that was so good that you still think about it occasionally?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's a place in Vegas called Jesse Ray's Barbecue, and it's in Henderson technically, so it's better than Vegas. But if you're ever down there, I highly recommend it. And they've got everything barbecue and smoked mac and cheese, like meatloaf, like
mac and cheese,
ribs, wings. And it's like $22, and you get this just like 7-pound plate of just meat and potatoes and mac and cheese and fries, and it's like. But we joke around about it because my wife's sister lives up in Salt Lake, or northern Salt Lake area, and she's like, we need a plan to see you guys so that we can go down there because it's only like an hour and a half from where we live. And she's like, I can't drive all the way there for food, but I can go see you guys, and then we can just go get dinner.
That's a dedicated trip right there.
All the time. They want to plan a trip around just to go there to get dinner.
That is so funny that it's painted as a trip to see you, but really it's to go get
Yeah,
food.
and we know we're fine with that because we get to go get Jesse Ray's as well. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's a 3-hour car ride.
Yeah.
it's worth it. It's worth it.
What's the name of it again?
Jesse Ray's Barbecue.
Jesse Ray's. All right, I'm going to put that on my bucket.
I
In my
highly
bucket.
recommend it.
Do you have a meal or recipe that you like and share?
Yeah. So I have a ton. I love to cook. Actually, my best friend that I referenced earlier, his family's Hispanic, and so growing up, I'd go to their house and I'd have to help cook dinner, which, as a kid, was a terrible plan because I did not know how to cook anything besides like ramen.
That's so nice of them to involve you, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it was like I was there. I had to like.
Oh, they
you had to
expected you?
help, like.
Cool.
And they'd be like, "How much salt to do?" And they would just like put some in their hand and be like, "Yeah, about that much," and throw
A
it in the
pinch.
dish.
Yeah.
And it's like, how much of this? I joke around that I kind of got taught how to like cook with the soul. You know, you season it and taste it, smell it, and see how it goes, and then add some more seasonings or call it good.
Honestly, that you're quite lucky for having that experience.
Yeah. Well, and then
And
during high
confidence.
school, yeah, and during high school, I actually worked at an Italian restaurant, and I started as a dishwasher, and I ended up being in one of the lead cooks.
Cool.
And so there, everything is very strict. It's like you have this amount of serving of this spices and this seasoning and this and this and this. So then I like learned how to do like the very specific recipes and
Yeah,
all
because it
that.
has
So
to
I
be
was-
uniform for everybody.
Exactly. And I actually got in trouble one time because I was making a recipe or a sauce and I didn't put enough of a seasoning into it because I thought it tasted better. So I was like, I'm going to stop right here.
So you're going ratatouille is what you're doing.
I went rogue, yeah. The only reason that the owner found out is because somebody complimented the new sauce.
That should be a good thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, it was really good. I was really surprised. And he comes into the kitchen. He's like, what did you do? And I was like, I perfected it. Like, he's like, no, not a recipe.
Not what he wanted to hear.
But what do you remember what it was that you didn't put in?
So
What
it was
spices?
it was just an Alfredo sauce, and it basically they just added a lot of cream cheese and garlic, and just made it like a little bit over the top in my opinion, like a little bit
yeah,
too
tasted
rich.
at the back of it.
And so yeah, it was just too rich, and so I just mellowed it down a little bit and made it a little smoother Alfredo. And then he was like, "No, that is unacceptable completely."
Wow, he's
So
missing
because of
out.
because of that though, I learned how to cook like structurally and then so it's like when we go to places like Jesse Ray's, I'll like eat the food and I'm like, okay, how do I make this at home? And then that's my goal. It's like how to do it. So it's like I've got a ton of
I love
like
that.
like my favorite go-tos, and I've got one of them, and we'll do smoked meatloaf stuff with like hash browns and like cheese and salsa and stuff.
Wow,
And,
that's
and
intense.
it's a lot, and it's pretty simple. You just throw it all in, let it smoke for like 6 hours, and it comes out perfect. But it's one of those like I'll see people that have barbecues at the house, and I haven't seen them in years. Like, hey, will you just throw a barbecue so I can come over and eat? And it's just
Nice.
like, tell me
Yeah.
when you're coming over and I'll cook. Like that's
That's a
completely fine.
dream to be known for that. How cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Kody, tell us a challenge that you've overcome that you are now grateful for or proud of.
In let's see, it was 2023. I got randomly diagnosed with epilepsy, and that
Randomly?
was-
Something happened.
By randomly means, so I learned a lot about epilepsy. Since you get a disease, you kind of tend to learn things about it because doctors are just shouting information at you every once in a while.
Yeah.
And apparently they can like spot it in the brain, but it just kind of happens. So some people like in childbirth will trigger epilepsy. Like when they're being born, that's a traumatic enough event. And then some people in adulthood, it just something will trigger and snap in your brain all of a sudden is like unresponsive to certain events. And I ended up with epilepsy at 32 years old, one of those. And it was a weird thing to get because, one, I didn't fall down having seizures. I'd like black out for a few minutes. And the only reason I even found out about it, and I don't know how long I had been doing this, but one day I was actually making Alfredo, oddly enough, and I was tired. I sat down in the kitchen and my wife was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just really tired." And suddenly she's like hitting me and smacking me. And I'm like, I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And I'm like, I could smell the sauce getting too hot and boiling. And I was like, what are you doing? She freaks out. She's like, are you messing with me? And just gets super mad. And I'm like, what just happened? My sauce is burning. Like, I'm going to check on this. And go and check on the sauce, and I'm like, that was a weird reaction to me being like tired. Like,
That's a little over the top.
yeah. And she's painting one of the back rooms. So I go into the back room and I'm like, hey, what just happened? And she's like, you were messing with me. I thought you were like dying for 5 minutes. And then you just get up and are going to go stir your sauce. And I was like, that was like 12 seconds. What are you talking about? And so we actually had to go back and forth for a few minutes to find out that, yeah, for like a whole 4 or 5 minutes, I just blacked out, sitting there staring at her, making weird noises, and got up and was just worried about my sauce. And the next day we ended up going to the hospital, and she's like, we need to go to the hospital. And I was very stubborn, and I was like, I'm fine. That was weird, but whatever, I'll get over it. And then she was like, no, we are going to the hospital. And he's like, you could have had a mild stroke, but you definitely have epilepsy. I'm like, well, when would I have had the stroke? He's like, we can only tell if you're like hooked up to the machine, like in the moment, if you had a stroke. But he's like, a lot of times those are similar symptoms that have happened that we've seen. Suddenly he's like, yeah, you've got epilepsy. And he's like, how long has this been going on? I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, this could have been going on for months, like years.
Years.
Nobody was there. Like, it had happened. I have no idea. And so
That must have felt so weird and uncomfortable.
it was wild, and it got really rough. And so I had to go see specialists, and I found out that if you go to a neurologist, they are not specialists in specific diseases. So we actually had to go through multiple to get one that's actually an epilepsy specialist, which I go to now. She's great, and she's been helping us out. And I actually got into a car crash that was really bad. I had a seizure while driving, and I ended up basically going down a ravine through a barrier, flipping my truck. And I remember any of that part. I remember waking up and being like, why is my windshield cracked? Like,
Yeah. Darn it.
my truck
windshield.
My truck did a full landing too. Like, I landed on my tires.
What?
And I'm
You
like
did?
sideways in the truck, and like my drink spilled everywhere, and I'm like kicking out the door, trying to get out because don't know what's going on.
And when did this happen?
This happened on November 22nd, 2023.
Okay.
So about 4 months after I'd gotten diagnosed, and I'm like kicking out the door, and I worked security at a bar at the time, so I smelled like beer. I've been at the bar all night.
Ugh.
And like I finally get the door open, and all of a sudden police are showing up, and the ambulance and paramedics and fire trucks, and it's like I'm like getting out. And they're
Honestly,
like, whoa,
thank
whoa, whoa.
goodness that somebody saw and called.
Yeah, well, I was like a mile away. I know the firehouse was like right there. You could see the firehouse.
okay.
Where I actually crashed,
Wow.
and which was convenient.
I would say.
So I'm like trying to find my phone to call my wife, to call the police, to, figure out what's going on. And yeah, they show up, and they're like not letting me out of the truck, and I'm like, they're like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what happened?
I could see how that might look suspicious.
A little bit.
Well, they're like, giving me this field sobriety and stuff like that. Like, obviously a drunk driver. And I'm like, I can do, the alphabet backwards. And it's like, I can give you my driver's license number. Cause I was a trucker at the time, driving CDL and doing all these things. And they're like, just kind of shutting it down, basically. Like, no, this is, you're
guilty.
drunk. Like, you're drunk. And then finally did the breathalyzer at the very end of it. And they're like, okay, he's not drunk. He just
Why
smells
don't
like
they start
beer
with
or
that?
something. Right. So
what
actually,
they
no,
do.
the answer is because they want to gain evidence.
Oh.
To prove in court if I try to fight that I'm innocent. So they want to have as much footage of me being drunk as possible.
That makes
And
sense.
then, so.
But not this case.
Not in this case.
Did you say I have epilepsy?
I did. But I thought that was a bad argument to be like, I passed out while driving. Like, I didn't think that was going to be the best case scenario.
Probably not. No, it's not. It's
a
not that
strange
I'm
one to
drunk.
go.
It's that I passed out. It's a medical
I'm on
condition.
medication that didn't work, officer. It's fine. And the cop was actually, he was the police officer. He was really cool. He actually only gave, he comes over and he's got like this checklist. He's like, so you took out 5 signs, the barrier, you flipped your truck, and you're still alive. So I do have to write you a ticket, and I'm going to give you a ticket for not staying in your lane because that's technically the only law you broke.
Nice.
That's crazy.
And I was like, I appreciate that. He's like, so we got to take you to the hospital.
And you walked away.
And I walked
That
away.
part
Yeah.
is the craziest.
Yeah.
And
You didn't break any bones or anything.
So I broke my back.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
you did. Yeah, you did.
I broke my back, and
You walked
And
away
you knew
funny.
about it. Well, sorry. In the moment, while this is all happening, you knew your back was broken, or you knew
I knew my
been
back
injured?
hurt. Like that was all I really knew though. I was like, I'm in pain, but I also got into a car crash and did some flips and some gymnastics that I was not stretched
Yeah,
for. So
that would
like,
be that would make sense that you would be in pain.
yeah. So we had to go to the hospital, and like my wife finally shows up, and she's obviously in a panic, and there was nowhere to park, so she like parked like a mile away because it's on the freeway or the highway. So she's like, I didn't know where to go, and there was cops everywhere, and she's like climbed up through the brush basically to get there as quick as possible. They're like, yeah, we'll drive you to the hospital. I'm like, I can't afford that bill right now. Like, she'll drive me, and it's like, let us drive you to her car then. And I'm like, are you gonna charge me? He's like, no, it's on the way to the firehouse. It'll be fine. Like,
Okay.
so we get there. We actually, go
That's
to the
good.
hospital, and then they were like, yeah, you broke your back. The crazy part about that is I actually found out that I'd broken my back before and just never got it checked out. And they did the x-rays because they were like, yeah, so this one, after it was getting healed up, right? And the x-ray technician was like, make sure you ask your doctor about your L6 because it's not healed. And I'm like, I didn't know it broke in two places. This is terrible. So I go to my doctor, and he was like, that one was broken before. That's already been solidified, and that's as healed as it's going to get. And he's like, so
Really?
sometime in the past you broke your back. He's like, can you think of any incidences of this would have happened? And I'm like, I can think of about a dozen times this might have happened. Like,
Yeah.
so he's like, yeah, it's like,
And then your
so
10-minute blackouts too. So
yeah. And so that was the worst part of it, and we had to go to court, and I lost my license for a little while. I lost my CDL, and then,
For something that was
actually,
outside of your control.
yeah, and the CDL, I mean, because have epilepsy now, so like, yeah, you can't drive semi trucks ever again because even if medicated, what if something happened? And that's fair. And it's good news is I'm almost 2 years of seizure free, so that's
Nice.
really
Well,
good.
let's go back up a minute. So it's safe to say that that was a pretty tough time in your life.
Yeah,
Emotionally.
that was emotionally rough. Physically, it was like, I went from being able to do whatever to, all right, you can't lift more than 10 pounds for the next like 4 to 6 months.
Wow.
And
10
you
pounds
know,
is nothing.
is a gallon of milk. Like, and that was my limit. And it's like, I can't even go grocery shopping. I couldn't drive anywhere. And
Did you
I also-
adhere to that rule?
My wife forced me to. So
Good for
not
her.
my choice. She wouldn't let me buy a new vehicle until I was medically cleared. So, I did adhere to
Good thing
it.
you have her.
Yeah, she's been great. And the hardest part is it was probably really hard on her because she had to deal with me. But then also the hard part for me was I actually blocked out on and off about 3 years of memories.
What?
So
At that
people
point in time or earlier in
Yeah,
life?
from that point, from like 2022 or 2023 to about 2020, I like have weird memories that I just do not remember events of, like big
Really?
events too. Like my neighbors, they did their backyard, and we were joking about this last night with them. They did their backyard in turf last year. At one point, we went up there. I'm like, "Whoa, this looks great. When did you guys do this?" And he was like, "Bro, you helped me do this."
Really?
And I was like, "When?" And he's like 2 years ago. I was here. I helped, and he's like, "Yeah, you did a lot of the wheelbarrowing." 'Cause
that's when you go, man, we did a good job.
I was like, "Hey, I'm proud of us." Like,
Of course I did.
did you remember to pay me? Like, so yeah,
I
that's
love
been-
that it starts with you complimenting your own work. It looks so nice back here. Wow.
So meds have you got that tightened up and
Yeah, we
and
had to
dialed
do
in.
some testing for a little while, and when I actually got into the rec was when I was on a different combination that just didn't work, but now it's dialed in. So it's been since January of 2024 was the last time I had a seizure of any kind. And they're more mellow, but
That's
it was
awesome.
more mellow then. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride, and so yeah, people will tell me stories though, and I'm just like, I kind of have to just try to believe them, and it's like, I don't remember going to this event. They're like, do you remember this party? And I'm like, no, I don't. Or birthdays, weddings, reunions, and I'm like, I have no recollection of any of this stuff.
So, Kody, the question specifically is kind of your gratitude towards how you've managed this situation.
I'm grateful for my wife above all else in this because she has been, she was the rock through all of it. She helped me through everything. And it also kind of kicked the ball rolling on us, like, in 10 years, in 20 years, it's like, where do we want to be in life? And it's like, I've been doing
Yeah.
construction forever, and I was still doing construction, but I was like, do I want to be into the trucking industry? It's like, it's a sign. We needed to get out of that. We needed to move into a different path. And so I'm just
Yeah.
really grateful that, A, I didn't die, because obviously
Yeah.
That would be a
I
good
got,
thing.
I got
Oh, and somebody else didn't die either.
Yeah, nobody got hurt besides me. And I had to go to court and talk to the judge, and he's like, "Well, it says somebody got injured." I'm like, "Well, I got injured," and he was just like, "Okay," like.
My goodness.
And it was the wildest. I've never been to court before, so we had to deal with all that and figure it out. And I learned just plead not guilty and get a lawyer. That's what the county attorney told me. He's like, if anything ever happens again, just not guilty, get a lawyer. He'll tell you what to do.
Wow.
Okay, good to know. Like,
Nice. Yeah, because you wouldn't know that otherwise.
didn't know I needed to know that, but I now know that's really good advice. I'm just grateful that we got through a lot of hard times. I didn't have a job for a little while, and then the job I work at now, they were super cool. Even me having a broken back operating forklifts, they were like, "Can you handle it?" And I was like, "Yeah." Everything, it's like, for how terrible it was,
Yeah.
it all worked out remarkably well.
In a relatively short time period.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the doctor my back was healed in like 5 months sooner than he was expecting me to be back to 100%.
Sweet.
That's amazing.
Cody, so if an episode is coming on, you don't know.
Oh, there's no trigger. Or like,
There's no trigger. There's no like blinking lights or loud noises that happens.
You just go away.
I just fade out, and like the last one that happened, we were at my wife's grandparents' house, and we were on a deck with no railing. And I apparently just got up and started wandering around. And they're like, whoa. Like, and I mean, it was only like a 2-foot drop to the ground.
That's far enough.
But yeah, it's and I still had a broken back at the time.
That's wild to me that your body is still operating and doing things, and you don't know about it at all.
Yeah, and it's just like, there's no tells and no triggers, and that was the hardest part. When I'd go to the doctor and they're like, "Yeah, did you have any seizures?" And it's like, I don't
How would
know.
you know?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But like,
Has anybody recommended a canine?
a canine?
A dog.
Yeah, I mean,
medical dog.
a medical dog.
No, they haven't.
Oh, they're amazing. I mean, you get a sponsor, you can get one of these dogs. It sometimes takes a year and a half for these dogs to get trained, but they sense, hey, you're about to go down, and they can either, like, a lot of times will dive underneath you if you're going to fall, or
they can come and nudge you and tell you to sit
nudge
down.
you and say, hey, sit down. You're about to.
Oh, wow.
So you might want
I've
to check
seen dogs
into
that will like go and tap like where the medication is or whatever it is for different conditions. But I have seen it for epilepsy. Yeah, maybe you should look into it.
Kody, tell us a day that you remember, a snow day from your childhood, and how you spent the day.
Okay, so I lived in northern Utah, and my grandparents' house was like up on the mountain, basically. Mm-hmm. And it was just buckets and buckets of snow. And they had this huge double V driveway, and it was like you could park 4 cars on each side. And then they had a back wall that led to the backyard, and it was like the 1 story down or so. And so my brother, and I'm the youngest, he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, let's shovel the driveway." And I was like, "That sounds terrible." He's like, "Let's throw it off the side of the wall and then jump off of it."
Okay.
So we spent the entire day shoveling the driveway. Every time the snow plows would come and refill the sidewalks, we push it down, throw it off the edge. And we had this like 6-foot pile of snow down there. And then my dad gets home and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, we're going to jump off the wall." And we just jumped into the snow off the it. And my dad is like, "What are you doing?" Because obviously sane people don't do that. Runs over and sees that we've got it. It's almost halfway up to the level. And now we're just stuck in the snow.
You were stuck in the snow.
Just trying to swim out of it.
Yeah, there was a plot twist because we put all the slush on top of it, so it got real thick at the very top, and then we're climbing out of that, running back up the mountain, and normally
doing it
a big
again.
driveway, so we just go sledding down the driveway. But this time we were like, we're going to do this, and then it's like we're shoveling off the grass, throwing it over, everything we could to get more snow down there to just jump over and over as much as we could, just having as much fun. And my grandma's
so
just inside, whatever, they're outside, they're not dying, it's fine,
Yeah.
When kids played outside.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun. And they got their driveway shoveled. So how about that?
Yeah, we've had to do that anyway, so it was nice that we got to have some fun with it.
Yeah, totally.
Great story.
I love that story.
I love the question.
Kody, let's end with a great question about looking to the future. So looking forward, what is a tradition that you would like to start with your family?
So well, I don't know about you guys. There was always going Halloween, trick or treating, and stuff like that. There was always that one house that had like, candy bars or soda or whatever. And
Yeah,
there was always
like the
another
full-size
house that
candy
had, like hot dogs or something like that.
Yeah.
So my wife would tell me that she was telling me that there was a house they'd go to. They always had like hot dogs and cake, chips and soda and like everything for
Cocoa.
the kids and for the adults too.
Sweet.
And so last year we actually did that, and
Wow.
and we're in a developing neighborhood. So our neighborhood wasn't finished last year, but this year we're going to do it again. And so that's kind of our tradition for Halloween is we're going to have hot dogs and soda and just whatever for everybody. And it doesn't get cold here, so we're not going to do hot cocoa or anything because that would probably overheat
Yeah.
fast.
Good
But
point.
yeah, so yeah, we're going to do that. We just grill them up in the garage and just have them out for everybody and let the adults know if they're hungry and want a snack or whatever, they can have that and keep going. And so it was a ton of fun last year. And, we met a lot of new neighbors that are moving in and stuff like
Sweet.
that. And so
Is it a
just
very
little-
like family-oriented development where you live?
Yes. Yeah.
So
it's-
lots of people are going to come by. That's going to be
I was going to
so
say that's how you
fun.
get to be the favorite in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
right there.
I'd be like, I know this house.
We want to be the
Yeah.
it house that has to get it every year. So, like, that's the goal. And last year it was a ton of fun. And, like, even the adults, they'd, like, send their kids in. It's like, no, you guys can come, too. Like, we're, like, waving them in. It's like, there's food. Have at it.
Oh,
So,
that is
Looks
so
like
and
I'm
so
going
fitting.
to Costco.
Do you
Yeah.
get your hot dogs at Costco, Kody?
you have to.
If you can- Heck yeah.
The price and everything. And you get those. They've got the mini waters, too, which are perfect for the kids and the mini sodas
Oh,
and stuff.
good
So,
point. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
it going on.
yeah.
You're gonna have to send us pictures of your
Yep.
setup so we can see what it looks like. That's
Will
gonna be
do.
so fun. Well, Kody, thanks so much for your time. This was a blast. I mean, lots of great stories to share, lots of hard stories to share, but with big takeaways that are really important as well. So we just really appreciate your time and the stuff that you brought to the podcast today.
No, it was a blast. Thank you, guys.
Cody, you were awesome. Thank you.
Great.
All right, we'll chat soon. Thanks, Kody.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Cody.
Bye.
See ya.
Man, he was awesome today.
Yeah.
Great
Great
questions.
stories.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so what stood out to you?
I was excited when I get the snow
Mm-hmm.
story. I was like, what is he going to do out of that? And of course, it's kid stuff. And you got to cherish the kid, fun for life thing. So
Yeah.
I love that one.
I love that. I love that it was a lighter question after a heavy conversation about his epilepsy diagnosis. and
Yeah.
car crash.
But I love this tradition that they're doing with the dogs and the waters. And I really want to do that. I think
Then
that
do
would be
it.
cool.
I think that would be awesome. I love the beginning of the episode when he was telling us about those acts of kindness that people did for him and his wife at the beginning of their marriage with the food
Yeah.
and the tires. Such a great story.
I really enjoyed speaking with Cody. And I'm going to name the barbecue place again one more time.
Oh, goodness.
Jesse's.
Jesse Ray?
Jesse Ray. I want to go to Jesse Ray's restaurant.
Oh, here it is.
Barbecue.
Okay, I wasn't going to Google it at the time, but I am now. And it has great reviews. Jesse Ray's Barbecue. 4.6 stars out of hundreds of reviews.
Hey, we're not getting free food from Jesse Ray's, just so you know. They don't even know we exist.
Well, we also don't live anywhere close by. Great service, good clean dining, large portions of great tasting barbecue. That's pretty much exactly what Kody said.
Yeah.
Well, that was another awesome episode, awesome time with our friends on Porch Swing People.
Thank you for listening in, everyone. I hope you continue to do so. Porch Swing People, out. Porch Swing People is recorded and produced by Lex and Gibby. Opening music was written and produced by Michael Gibson. Porch Swing People is a podcast featuring everyday people. If interested in being a guest, email us at porchswingpeeps@gmail.com.